Welcome to my podcast, You Are More. I'm your host, Amy, and I am really thrilled to be with you today. We are cruising through 2024, and I am loving. We've just finished up our third week of the coaching event that we're doing, the weekly coaching that we're doing, and I have so enjoyed riding alongside some really epic leaders, fantastic women, mostly from the Cedar Valley. But guys, we're blessed in this area to have so many great people. And if you're outside this area, I'm going to be launching another one. I'll announce that, a few weeks from now, but you'll have opportunity. But it's been a really great thing to watch lights turn on and just see like these kind of practical, tactical things that produce real impact in our life. And so it's been awesome. But I want to talk to you. We're into February. It's clicking along. And this is kind of a busy kind of time season for me. We rolled for my kid's birthday. They have twins that turn 9 in the middle of December. A week later, we go to Christmas. Then we hop right into January is a little bit okay. It's a little slower. And February, my husband's birthday. We just celebrated our 15th anniversary, and we just keep clicking along. We got Valentine's next week. So, and my mom, she's having a big birthday this next. She turns 70, guys. So if you see her out and about, yeah, wish her well. Wish her happy birthday. I want to talk to you though. Here's what we've got going on. Many people started off the year strong. Many people started off with, okay, this is going to be a different year for me. And here's what happens: the dailiness of life gets in the way. And so I want to talk to the people out there that are the motivated people, the disciplined people, who you usually are. You're always moving forward. You're pushing the ball up the hill. You're moving the needle. That's the kind of personality type that's listening to this podcast. But lately, you might think, but lately I'm just not feeling it. Maybe in the last couple weeks I've lost my mojo. I'm not I feel like it's mission impossible. Why did I ever even believe that I could do something great with my life? It looks like all my circumstances are just mounting up and there's no possibility for me. If that's you, I've got good news for you. Because this is what I know. If you have a big dream and a big vision, and it's big enough that something that you can accomplish on your own, you're not dreaming big enough. Your dream has to be way bigger than yourself. It has to be way beyond your ability to accomplish it, to have it to be a God-inspired dream and get the backing of heaven on it, right? So if it's something that you can just accomplish, if you just gathered a few people, if you just worked really hard, you just put some effort behind it, then you're probably not thinking big enough. I just said it to you a minute ago, but I wanted to reframe it for you and say, you're not thinking big enough. Okay. So let's take that perspective. I'm not thinking big enough. Okay, I'm gonna need some reinforcement from heaven. I'm gonna need the favor of God on my life, on what I'm doing, on the works of my hands to actually see this big vision come to pass. But I have to tell you something. When it requires the favor of God, when it requires the blessing of God on your life, guess what? You go through times where it's going to feel like you're moving like a snail. You're going to feel like, man, I can't get the needle to move forward. Wow, I'm just every day one foot in front of the other, but it's not moving. Guys, here's the truth of the matter. To get yourself emotionally in that state where your energy level rises to your dream, where your vision and your purpose and how you walk and how you talk rise to that level, you're going to have to unstuck yourself multiple times. You might have to unstuck yourself multiple times a day. You're going to have to reprogram yourself, but the best way that I know to do that, two things. First of all, get out of bed. Get out of bed. If you're a person that says, "Man, I'm losing my desire. I'm losing my discipline." Do the first things first. Just get out of bed. Get out of bed. Don't hit snooze. Get out of bed. And then here comes the magic. You got out of bed. And so now I want you to think about something. There's so much power in visualization. And you think, "Oh, not this again." Visualization. Here's the thing. The Bible says, without a vision, my people perish. That means they don't know where to go. They just wander. Their days just become weeks and weeks become months, and they don't accomplish much because there's no vision. But how do you bring a vision to pass? Because most people think that the time frame it takes to complete the vision is much longer than it actually is. How do you bring the vision into closer proximity in your life? Here's how you do it. I always say that I am my the way I interpret it in my head. I always go to, like, in the mornings when I'm walking, I go outside and walk and talk and do my thing. I like to think, well, my first part of my walk is probably I'm still in the problems of the day. I'm thinking about things, I'm trying to solve things. But then I get to a situation, I'm like, okay, now I need to go to an elevated thinking level. And so I envision like going to like over like when you're in an elevator that's clear and you can it's glass and you can get above the skyline. You can see clearly, right? You can see big. And I like to go to that space and I close my eyes and I just sit there and think about what it is that I want to see. Maybe it's the money that I anticipate that I'm going to make this year. Maybe it's the impact that I want to have. Maybe it's the health I want to see, the body I want to see, the vacation that I want to do with my kids. I go there and I close my eyes and I think about what is it going to feel like? What's it going to feel like when I get there? What is it going to feel like? The applause of people, the impact that's been left on it, the lives that are changed. What's it going to feel like when I'm standing there and I'm seeing the impact of that? What is it going to feel like? And I can put myself in that emotional state. What's it going to feel like when I've lost the weight and my body's in great shape? What's it going to feel like when I'm able to pay for my kids' college and I don't have any debt with it? What's it going to feel like? Whatever your goal is, what's it going to feel like when I launch that podcast? What's it going to feel like when I launch that book? What's it going to feel like when I create that business and I move it down the road and I create a really successful company? What's it going to feel like? I'm just throwing out ideas to you guys. But when you get into that space of visualization, when you start to focus on it, right? And I think that if you've got a dream, you need to at least be spending 10 or 15 minutes in that visualization and in the emotion of what it will feel like, right? Close your eyes, think about it, and just go there. What will it feel like when I'm seeing this happen? And just go there. And when you do that, something's going to start to happen. When you do that, you have just engaged your reticular activation system, this amazing system that we have, that it becomes now like, oh, I've put that out there. I've visualized it. I've looked at it. I've seen it. What can I accomplish with it now? So here's the truth, guys. When you've got that out there, things that have been casual in your life, things that have probably gone unnoticed, will start to pop up and appear. Provision will start to pop up and appear. The best way to say this is I just listened to something interesting about um, the chicken soup for the soul guy. Um, he did a whole entire thing on the power of thought and visualization and how he literally moved the needle forward. When he put Chicken Soup for the Soul, that book series out there, he was making like $8,000 a year. Like it was not happening for him. And he and his wife decided, hey, let's just write out a check. What would it be like to make $100,000 a year? And so he would look at that every day. He'd look at it. And his books had not he had a whole entire garage full of books. He hadn't sold a ton of them. And he went out there and thought, okay, well, how many books would I have to sell to make, 100 grand? And he started to think about that because he just started to focus on that. And when he started to focus on the number that he wanted, the ideas started to come in. So guys, when you're focusing on where you want to go, the vision that you have for your life, guess what's going to start to come? When you hold it in your thought, when you hold it before you, ideas are going to start to come. Provision's going to start to come. You're going to notice things that were not noticeable, and you're going to notice it and go like, why didn't I think about that? Because it wasn't important to you. I hate to say it, it wasn't important to you. Your brain wasn't recognizing, oh, this could assist me in what I want to do. But now, since you've activated it, you're going to see it come to a whole different level. So I want to talk to you about like, he addresses the fact that okay, so he got into it and he was walking, I think, through some area of his house that he had walked through multiple times, and he saw a magazine sitting there, and he was like, oh, if I could advertise in the magazine, how many books could I sell? And so he went and he he thought, well, it's going to take like 440,000 books to sell. I'm gonna have to sell that many books. So he went and he noticed another magazine laying there that was less expensive to advertise in, and it was only going to take him 330,000 books to sell it. And so he did. At the end of the year, guess how much money he made? $92,800. I think that that's correct. I could be a little bit off, but it's like 92,000. Okay, so he missed his goal by $8,000. Much better than the 8 grand he was making a year, though, right? So here's the thing. He put it out there. He stood there. He stared at it and he brought it forth. Things started to come into play. He started putting action steps to it, and it started to unfold. Guys, what you give attention to, where you pay attention to things, energy flows. What you give your attention to draws energy from you. It draws your passions. It draws activity. So that's why again it's just so important to just keep putting it out there and to sit in that space of visualization. Now his wife said, "Man, okay, we didn't quite hit the 100 grand, but why don't we really go for it? And let's say, I wonder if this would work at $1 million." And so he again, they put it out there, they looked at it, they wrote it down, they looked at it all the time. And pretty soon things started to unfold. Speaking engagements started to fold. His book got picked up. Things started to happen. And at the end of the year, he had made almost $1.2 million over, guys. So here's the reality of it. If he would have never done that, those magazines probably would have just continued to lay there and not work for him. He would have had a garage full of books. He would have walked away frustrated and said, "Man, I guess it wasn't for me to actually do. I guess this wasn't really what. I'm discouraged. I'm disappointed." And he would have left and probably not accomplished near what he's accomplished today. If you think about the people like I'm just thinking about people who talk about it often, like Oprah Winfrey. Everyone can agree that she has accomplished much on this earth. She's made massive impact on this earth. And yet she would say she spent so much time in visualization. Like, what's my TV show going to be like? What's the audience going to feel like? How big of an audience? And she literally mapped it out with visualization. Guys, like success leaves clues, right? Everybody I know that's accomplishing so much on this earth, making massive strides and impact, spend a lot of time in visualization. Time spent in visualization is not wasted time. Although many people think that it's, oh, that doesn't work. It's woo, 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 woo. I'm telling you, if you'll begin to put those things out there in a real concise, clear way, you got to know where you're going. If you don't know where you're going, you're not going to end up anywhere, right? So if you know where you're going and you've got that out there, focus on it. What does my body look like when I'm so perfectly healthy? I'm fit, I'm firm, I'm fabulous. What does that look like? What's it going to feel like? That feeling is going to pull you off the bench and cause you not to eat the shakes and the drink the shakes and the pizza and the pasta and all the stuff, right? It's going to get you out of bed in the morning because that vision is pulling you. That vision is calling to you. That vision saying, go move your body, go do that. That vision of what you're going to accomplish is going to cause you to put action behind your thoughts. You're going to take action. You're going to be drawn. That vision is going to draw you in. And it's going to you can just keep bringing it in closer and closer and closer. So sit there, give yourself the best gift you can give yourself, the power of your visualization. One of the greatest gifts that we have, this imagination. Guys, our brain thinks in images, it thinks in pictures, right? So there are so many studies. I was just reading this last week, even about the power of visualizing health in your body and really visualizing that. Guys, I listened to a study that there's athletes, and one group just visualized it, and they couldn't go out and it was a baseball team. They couldn't go out and play. They just would visualize the play, right? The other group would visualize the play and actually practice, okay? And then we had one group that just practiced. Well, guess what happened, guys? The group that visualized it, right, did equally as well as the group that actually practiced. They improved equally as much going through the visualization of the steps of hitting the ball as did the people that are actually out there doing it. Now, the group that really took off was the people that visualized it and actually did it. But the fact that the people out there actually playing and the people that are actually just sitting there visualizing themselves playing, that they were in the same realm is incredible to me, right? So here's the great thing about it. When you spend time in visualization, your body, your brain does not know that you have not already completed that task. It doesn't know. It thinks you've already done it. So let's say this, like every time if I have a big, speaking engagement or something coming up, like I'll always go into that visualization. I'll always sit there. I'll take about 5 or 6 deep breaths, I'll just really get in the moment, get some good oxygen to my brain, and then I'll sit there and think about, what do I want the audience to experience? What do I want people to experience? What do I want them to walk away from? With what do I want them to, what do I want them to walk away with? What's the feeling I want them to leave with? Right? And I'll go out there and I'll do it. But here's the thing, when I get those kinds of reactions, I've actually already seen that in my head. And so when I experience it, it just feels like, yeah, that's what I expected it to do. Guys, here's the truth of the matter. We are powerful beyond our belief. We've been given these creative minds. We've been given the gift of imagination. We've been given the gift to have vision. And this is like one of the greatest secrets, is just to be able to put the vision out there and then let literally your body, your mind, everything will start to act in accordance with it. You can't focus. You cannot focus on where you're going and the dreams and the goals and the visions you have for yourself. You can't sit in that kind of a space and then go back and just keep sabotaging it. You just can't do it. I'm telling you, like something gets a hold of you and you're like, I have to be ruthless with myself because I see something and it's getting closer and closer and closer to me. That's the biggest issue that we have. We think that we've got a depth perception issue. We think it's going to take so much longer to accomplish our dreams than it will. We think that we can do, we think it's going to take, oh, it's going to take like 5 years to do that. I'll never be able to get that done. I don't, that's so far out in the future. But when you actually put your action steps with it every day and you're consistent and you're diligent, you've got the great gift of compounding effect, right? I mean, they say compound interest is like the eighth wonder of the world, but compound of activity, compound of vision, compound of sitting in that space. I'm telling you, it will roll like tidal waves. And you're going to start to eat the fruit of the things that you've been seeing. You're going to start to walk different. You're going to start to talk different. You're going to draw different people to you. They're going to align to you. They're going to come to support you, to aid you in all that you need. I'm telling you, the path forward is the path to sit in that space of visualization. And the best way to unslump yourself is to sit there, because when you get a vision for what it's going to be like, what it's going to feel like, and then you just get up. I think it's so critical just to get up and walk around. Like, I think it is like I walk and talk all the time. Movement is medicine. Movement is medicine. I'll say it again. Movement is medicine. Get out there and move. Get out there and take an action step. Put something out there. You can't sit tucked all tight and safe and never risking anything and never risking rejection and never risking anything and expect to ever accomplish much. So go out there, crush your dreams, dream big, dream so big that you've got, unless you have divine reinforcement, it's not able to be accomplished. Dream that big, guys, because guess what? I promise you, just like my dad used to say to me, Amy, shoot for the stars. And if you don't make it, at least you'll probably just be dragging your feet in the trees, right? So go blast out of the law of average, spend time in visualization, put feet to it, put passion to it. And I promise 2024, you're going to be sitting back there going, 2024 really has been my year for more. It's been an epic year, right? So I leave you with that. And I want you to remember, I want you to just know that you are more. You're created for more. You're gifted. You're talented. You have massive ability, and you're created to have great, great impact on this earth. So go light your world. You are more.